quick update on our end. Well, first of all, welcome Ethan, Ethan Fry, who's Asolito on Telegram, is joining our team as a engineering lead, and then I posted some announcements in Telegram about the status of where we are with the upgrade. Basically, we were trying to figure out how to do an in-place upgrade to Cosmos 0.36, and then Ethan found that there was issues with the root multi-store that needs upgrading, and that you actually need to do that outside of the begin block method where our upgrade module was doing upgrades. So we created this additional store upgrade path, and there's a PR that we opened against Cosmos SDK to look at that. I've been chatting with Bez, or Alexander Bez, who's kind of the one of the lead engineers at Cosmos, and trying to sync up with him about how we're doing those upgrades. He is on vacation and I think is getting back tomorrow, and then we're going to try to connect, and hopefully we can kind of coordinate efforts. So yeah, our planned upgrade is still a little bit delayed. Cosmos hasn't released 0.36 yet, and I think that that's only going to be released once people are back from vacation. So we're making progress on our end, but it's going to take a little more time. And let's see, yeah, what else? We hired also a front-end developer, and he might be joining these calls in August. And yeah, we're still looking for other developers to build out our team. Yeah, that's basically it from my end. There's not a lot. Maybe Gregory can give a short update on incentivized testnet design, because I know there's been some progress on the legal side of things.
Yeah, so happy to talk a little bit about that. I mean, our major hang-up on getting the, I think, maybe some of our US validators will watch this. It doesn't look like anybody's on the call at the moment, but we've been kind of working hard to ensure that, all of the different jurisdictions in which people may be validating can qualify for our incentivized testnet. And yeah, it looks like we have a pathway charted with our legal team, and we're just sort of like finalizing what the contracts are going to look like. We're going to be opening up basically right around 1 million XRM tokens to start with our incentivized testnet. And as we've sort of spoken about earlier, people who jumped in first and helped bootstrap this initial testnet where the incentive structure wasn't clear yet will definitely be getting kind of a little bonus for we're just a little gratitude bonus. And then we're going to have a clear point system inspired by Iris around our testnet, and we're also going to be making it possible. We're going to do some hackathons and be assigning some points to things that are sort of not deterministically about performance on the testnet, but are adding value to our ecosystem and the larger Cosmos ecosystem. So we'll be making some points available there, and yeah, also open to partnering with different validators who want to play particularly key anchoring roles around DevOps and other elements of kind of getting this network up and running. And so, yeah, we're excited. It looks like we're on track in terms of formalization of that and having it all approved by the legal team, and having our exemptions and all of the moving pieces to be able to kind of announce it next week, and hopefully that dovetails with sort of the dev process, so that we can then kind of shift over and be in a clear incentivized testnet process. There are a couple of dependencies because, as Aaron was saying, I don't know how explicit this was, but we're kind of working towards having a clear, explicit process so that several of our testnets are geared towards pushing upstream code to the Gaia hub, and so that's going to make our testnets go like a little bit slower than if we were just solely focused on Regen Ledger. So anyway, there's a little bit of still, you'll notice, Luigi, we're still sort of like synchronizing up and getting that all going so that it kind of marches at a good pace. But yeah, that's kind of the update from my end. Not sure if anybody has any questions about that or ideas. So yeah, cool.
Cool. I have coverage here. If anyone, I can join now. It's my turn.
Go for it.
Yeah, jump in, Ethan.
Cool. So I'm Ethan. I've been working at Cosmos back in 2017 and 2018, mostly at IOV. Yeah, built out Cosmos DK and Weave, also frameworks and other client-side libraries, and really excited about Regen, both the mission and the people and the tech and everything. So it's really awesome. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited and to really make something blockchain make a difference. So I've been trying to find a place for that for years, and this definitely looks like a great opportunity to do so. So yeah, I'm very excited about the project. And very part-time. This month I will be working much more full-time in August, but helping out with the upgrade modules and going through that. And it turns out that, as they said before, because we're not just trying to upgrade from changes that are in Regen code, but actually Gaia changes, it was a lot more difficult. They did interesting things like rename stores, which there is no migration path for in the code. And then models are not documenting all the changes. So we're going through trying to figure out all the changes they made in their state, and kind of, with all the devs on vacation, kind of black box re-engineering what the changes are so we can replicate it. So it's been interesting, very interesting attempt trying to make test harnesses to replicate this, but we did get some progress, and I made some good stages to get data out of it. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this in place. I think it's not so far a way to have a live upgrade process to replace the dump whole state and restore chain, and that's really exciting for me, actually, because that other approach I think is really unfriendly. The other thing is this the key management stuff I think is an amazing feature also for the whole Cosmos ecosystem. So very look forward to collaborating that more as that gets developed, both client and server side.
Cool, thanks, Ethan. Yeah, I mean, on the other side of things, there's progress on pilot partnerships, and you know, we're hoping that once we have our dev team a little more scaled up, we'll you know, be moving quicker towards some of those pilot partnerships and not so in the weeds in some of these kind of core level infrastructure things. But that stuff is also needed. So
you know, one thing that might be cool in relationship to our presence in Denver as a team, there's also going to be we're also part of a group called Open Team, which is also yet to be like fully announced. But it's basically an open source kind of a group which includes a bunch of heavy hitters in terms of the academic science research and business side of things, focused on sort of agriculture, ecology, and data. And we're basically building the open source tools for them in relationship to kind of distributed ledger, data privacy and permissions. And there's going to be a gathering which people in our community might be interested in attending called GOAT, Gathering for Open Agriculture Technology, which is going to include a hackathon and some other cool stuff in Denver. And it looks like the dates are going to be the weekend of September 27th. And I know it may be a long way for some of the folks on the call and in our community to travel. In some cases, you know, we could have a conversation about people on the dev team, you know, if it makes sense for people to come, you know, we pay way, or, you know, if maybe Regen Network is going to, you know, perhaps use some of our network bootstrapping discretionary fund to put up some sort of prize for the hackathon and some other things. But it's really exciting. I'd love for a strong region presence. There's going to be academic researchers, people focused on soil carbon and satellite monitoring, and it's a very interdisciplinary, open technology gathering, which also include which we're sort of holding the distributed ledger piece amongst a much broader community. So for people who are excited about the traction and the community that we're building on the user side and the stakeholder side, it's going to be really fun. I also think we'll figure out some way to live stream in and participate as well. So just to put that in everybody's sort of mind and agenda calendar moving forward, that's September 27th, that weekend in Denver. There's going to be a pretty big international gathering around kind of open agriculture technology, or the GOAT gathering. So, ping us if you're interested. And I just sort of had the idea about some sort of hackathon prize in this present moment. So no guarantees, but I think that could be pretty fun. So, yeah. Cool. Well, I think we should keep it brief. I'm going to turn off the recording so that we can, publish this little community call as we always do, with updates for people who are interested in tuning in. I know a lot of people do tune into these who aren't able to make the calls. And then after that, we're just going to leave the mic open and people can connect. Daniel, I know you were hoping to get a chat with Ethan in, and just sort of water cooler conversation. Without the recording on. So I'm going to go ahead.